Joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world is Arise News analyst Emmanuel Great Malabite Ifeni.
Good morning, Ruben.
Good morning, Malabite. How was church yesterday? I hope everything was
Good
fine.
morning, Rufa.
Good morning.
Good morning, Victoria Tundu MKO Abiola.
You
Good
didn't
morning,
want to
Mr.
respond to my
Freddy.
market
If
question.
you know that I officiated in the church yesterday, you talk to me with some respect
I said I was church
for my
yesterday.
spiritual activity.
Okay.
Now let's start the review with this day, Nigeria's newspaper.
Show my age, man. Show my age, man.
You know, it's a privilege to be able to officiate in the house of God. Now, we start with this day, Nigeria's newspaper of record. The lead story: Unapologetic frontrunners emerge for Pdp'S tickets. Yes, the lineup: Nyesom Wike, Udom Emmanuel, my governor, Ifeanyi Okowa, Senator Pius Ayim, and Seyi Makinde. Yes, when you appear on the front page of this day as a front runner, people will take you seriously. Recall the list we did the other time. Yes, and many are still looking at that list to see those who make. But for today, we have this, of course, in the light of Pdp'S zoning of the chairmanship of the party to the north. The pointers are that the presidential candidate of the party may emerge from the south, although nothing is cast in stone yet. But if you look at this lineup, you'll say, yes, Nyesom Wike, Mr. Projects, they call him, as a result of his heavy investment and delivery of projects that touched the masses in Rivers State. You may call him brash, you may call him one who displays bravado, bravura all the time, but Nyesom Wike is the typical Nigerian politician. And over time, he has also stretched his arms across the country. His recent donations in many parts of the north, many see as part of his game. And don't forget, he was the one who ensured that he pushed out his protege, former chairman of PDP, Uche Secondus, from the seat. Of course, that in itself cleared the way for the party to zone the chairmanship of the party to the north. But will Nyesom Wike make the cut at last? But he's one of the front runners. Udom Emmanuel, suave, capable, competent, you will say, coming from the private sector into politics. You say, you want to think he's a neophyte in politics, but if the way he took care of his godfather calmly and got his second term without so much dust in Akwa Ibom, then you say he has actually cut his teeth in politics and is well grounded to make the next leap. Ifeanyi Okowa, my state governor, yes, calm, calculated. And many believe, although he has not made any move yet, he's calm man, gives the impression that this is one, perhaps who can handle the trouble spot called Nigeria at this time. But Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, former senator, former secretary to the state government, you say he has both the legislative and executive experience. Same goes for Senator Pius Ayim. I don't want to go into protoplasm joke, but the fact is that if there is somebody you can say has seen it in politics, former Senate president, at the legislative level, you don't get higher than that. Former secretary to the government of the federation, he has executive experience. So if you are looking for an Igbo president, come 2023, you can bet your money on Pius Ayim. Of course, in his state, Ebonyi, the governor has since jumped ship, not because he's so powerful, but many believe because the likes of Ayim, pious Ayim, will not allow him to move further than the governorship in Ebonyi State after his second term. So he has to seek solace elsewhere. Now, Seyi Makinde, if you look at Seyi Makinde, I will say perhaps he's the youngest on that list, and given his experience in politics, he just made his grand entry as governor of Oyo State. The only PDP governor in the Southwest, yes, he has delivered by way of performance, but pushing Ayo Fayose aside as a leader of the party in the Southwest, I don't think that is enough to give you that springboard to the presidency yet. But it's one for the future, if you ask me. Ruben, Rufai, and Tundu, I want you to let's just comment on this quickly before we look at other newspapers.
Okay, first, I mean, at a time like this, there will be all kinds of permutations, speculations, self-positioning, and pundits trying to make projections as to what will happen. So nothing is cast in stone.
True.
This is this day newspaper giving us a report about 4 frontrunners, they are called, emerging for PDP's ticket.
PDP,
that's within the People's Democratic Party. I'm sure there will be members of the PDP that may say, no, that has not been determined yet. There is a meeting of the party, a crucial meeting, to consider the result of the Ngwanyen committee on Thursday, October 7. And at that meeting, certain critical decisions will be taken. That's if nobody goes to court to get an injunction that meeting should not take place. And earlier this morning, we had a conversation with Umar Sani, former spokesperson to the Vice President of Nigeria, Namadi Sambo, in which he made it clear that, look, the constitution of the party recognizes diversity, rotation, zoning. What it automatically means is that if you take the chairman from the South, then it will automatically mean, within the purview of the party and the expectations of other stakeholders, that none of these persons will be in the real sense frontrunners. If you take a chairperson from the North, right, then of course the proposition defined here as frontrunners,
which is the premise on which this day is making this proposition.
However, we should also place all of this in the context of the fact that there are persons, southern governors, stakeholders from the South, who are saying for reasons of equity and justice that the North cannot insist on producing the president in 2023. So within the PDP, the big fight is about where will the chairman come from, where will the presidential candidate come from, in line with the party constitution. Until that is resolved, I don't think we can confidently say that this person is the front runner, that one is not the front runner. But in terms of individual credentials, yes, these individuals, they are Nigerians, and as Nigerians, they have every right to aspire. And they are not persons that are coming from nowhere. Okay, the one who is, the youngest amongst them, you said, but even in terms of experience, is the youngest. All the other persons have served in government in different capacities, whether you're talking about Wiki or Emmanuel or Kowa or Pao Sanyem. Because I always make the point, you can't become president of Nigeria just by jumping down as a parachuter from Canada and or UK, and you come and be speaking wana, and you print posters, and you think you can become president of Nigeria. You must have the requisite experience. So in terms of experience, these persons have been exposed. But with the horse trading within the party, favor them in the long run. For now, we cannot be so sure. For now, we cannot make any categorical statements. But it's good for them to aspire.
So for me, in all of this...
I'm surprised that Peter Obi is not on that list.
So for me,
why should we limit him to vice president?
Okay.
He has the experience those guys have, 2-time governor.
Anyway, maybe...
I think he should be on that list.
You never know, he could be put on the list tomorrow.
Okay.
But for me, I think we keep missing the point every time we reach to get a president. We major in the minor. We major in personalities. We talk about people. But we don't talk about the issues. You see,
The people will talk about the issues.
no, the people will talk about the issues, but we don't talk about the issues enough. What kind of president do Nigeria need at this point? I think that should be the agenda. The president Nigeria needs is a president that understands the economy. The economy is in dire straits. Good as gone.
Yes.
Secondly, you need a president that can unite from every part of this country, bring people together. Thirdly, end insecurity. That's the brief for who a Nigerian president will be.
No, but there's a conversation around that.
No,
There is.
Let me finish my point, please.
Yes.
Even Masani this morning, define who the next president is.
So, once you have that on ground, then the question is, who fits the bill? It's not about the bloc, the party bloc.
Okay, look.
It's not about is in this part, is in this. Who fits the bill? Who can get the job done?
Okay, look,
Because
wait.
when you even look at the debates are watery. Nobody gets to talk about the issues. Nobody have an understanding of the issue. Then they take you back to 1951. They erase all the economic gains.
Let me draw your attention. Tundu, in 2015, who fits the bill? The man who can fight corruption. The man who can deal with insecurity. The man who has integrity.
I remember those days.
And we voted the man who fits the bill.
I remember those days.
And we know better now.
Well, I should hope so.
No, please, let's just...
There could have been other people that fit the bill. And please, Mr. Fede, there are not only two political parties in this country.
Okay.
We have over 70.
Yes.
So are you telling me that in those over 70, there were people that couldn't fight insecurity on that ballot?
No, but we said, it's been
No,
a
but
military
as for
man.
issues, I mean, you recall President Babangida when he turned 80.
Yes.
He gave, he listed the criteria.
understand
Other
the
people
economy.
have done so since then. We talk about it.
Yes.
Even when we have that criteria, we have the manifesto. We all know what is wrong with Nigeria. Even if you get the right person that you think is the right person, when it gets there, will he deliver? Will he do it? Our major expectation in 2015, or the expectation of many Nigerians, is that President Buhari, having been a military leader, will be able to tackle the problem of insecurity in Nigeria. What has he done about it? So the question to
insecurity
ask
is more widespread
is,
now in
why
the
is it that even when we know the issues, people go in there and they are not able to deliver? Is there some kind of extraterrestrial, metaphysical,
It's politics.
overwhelming force
It's politics.
inside government?
It's money
that
politics.
makes it
You know, you talked of that spirit in Aso Rock.
Yeah, I
hope
remember
you are not
that.
trying to dilate on that.
But
Nah.
it is politics that
Yes.
is causing them not being able to deliver. It is this same politics that we are playing now, and we are going back there. So
Anyway,
if all of this
yes.
is not sorted out, a bloc puts in a candidate that finally wins, the politician will do the bidding of the bloc, and he will not do the bidding of Nigerians. So we keep going around in circles. If we don't fix this, 2023 might just be like 2015.
Well, the conversation will always continue. New Telegraph newspaper, 2023, Southern Governors Zoning Alliance, deceitful, says Farouk, wants PDP against falling into booby trap, charges parties National Working Committee to review Ugwai's report. So that meeting will decide on that report. Now, the Guardian newspaper, 300,000 shareholders abandon dividends over inflation red tape. Unclaimed dividends now 170 billion naira, could hit 300 billion naira if not reversed by 2025. First Bank of Nigeria Holdings, Nestle, Nigerian breweries, top firms with unclaimed dividends. Operators say development undermines sex effort market growth. Now, the Daily Independent newspaper, Nigeria can raise $1 trillion from securitized assets. Analysts say it shouldn't have borrowed. Forex ban on 41 items, misplaced priority, the Daily Independent reported. Now, security, the leadership newspaper, tension in Southeast as gunmen set DSS, FRSC offices, vehicles ablaze. Joe Igbokwe's Nnewi residents also burned. 5 killed in Kaduna, Anambra. Military begins new offensive in southern states. Benue. Troops repel attack on repentant terrorists. Zamfara speaker's father dies in bandits' den. Yes, Daily Sun, Anambra boys, Joy Bokwe's home burnt, GSS office attacked. The Vanguard newspaper, alarm as federal government chokes private sector out of bond market. Federal government raises 4.7 trillion as corporates raise 802 billion naira. Analysts recommend options on private sector debt capital. Now, the Daily Trust newspaper, despite diplomatic interventions, Ghanaians resume hostility against Nigerian traders. 3,000 businesses threatened, over 3 billion.
Emmanuel, we seem to be running out of time. You want to take just one foreign story?
Yes. Okay,
and
let's
then we'll
just
move on very quickly.
Yes, let's just take the Times of UK. All Britain's electricity to be green by 2035. Prime Minister Boris Johnson will pledge investment today and commit his party to increasing renewable energy. Currently, renewable energy accounts for 43% of UK's electricity, while gas, fuel, and coal accounts for 40%. This means there will also be growth in offshore wind energy,
Anyway,
as well
thank you
as
very
nuclear
much.
energy.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel Efene. We'll see you again tomorrow. Don't worry, I won't harass you tomorrow.